Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by World Series of Fighting welterweight Danny Davis Jr. Danny, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Danny, you got a fight coming up March 29th at World Series of Fighting 9. I'm just curious, was today the last day of hard training, or will tomorrow be?
You know what? Actually, I had my last hard day of sparring on Thursday, and then Monday morning I was going to still get a nice, good grappling session. But, we normally do like about 8 5-minute rounds, but that day I'll probably just do 3 just to keep the motors going, and then that's it, and then focus on cutting the weight and staying sharp and smart and just drill in for the week and, get ready to fight.
Mm-hmm. Are you still training out of Extreme Couture?
Yeah, I train at Extreme Couture as well as Brazil Jiu-Jitsu. Robert's been my grappling coach since I've been a blue belt. But, to put it all together with, being an MMA fighter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do that all at Couture's. Robert Flawless has been my head MMA coach over there, and it's just been working out wonderful for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, just curious, you guys have a great stable of guys to work with at Extreme Couture. Just curious, who's been helping you get ready for the fight, and also who's going to be cornering you on March 29th?
As far as who's been helping me, Brad Tavares has been a long-time training partner of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He's been helping me a lot. Bristol Morande. Matt Riddle actually has been coming into the gym to help me out. Jay Heron, even though he's retired, has been in the gym helping us out. You know what I'm saying? And, we got a list of just top-level guys at the gym. Mikael Parlo. And then, they've all been wonderful to me. And, as well as everyone else has their own fights coming up. So there's been a great synergy in the room. We've all been pushing each other and just grinding it out. As far as who's cornering me that night, I'm actually going to have Robert Flawless corner me, as well as Eric Nixick. He's going to corner me, and Kyle Griffin, who's Tyson Griffin's little brother. Kyle's been very detrimental in helping my wrestling game out the last 2 years. He was an Oklahoma State wrestler himself, and he's really just took my wrestling to the next level, defensively and offensively, and so he's going to be in my corner that evening.
Mm-hmm. Now, Las Vegas, I like to call it a big, small place because it's, a massive city, but in terms of MMA, everybody trains with everybody, or, maybe they have a coach who also works with somebody else in the Las Vegas area, so everyone really works together, I guess you could say, in the Vegas scene. So I'm just curious, Phil Dace, have you ever trained with him?
Yeah, I like to call Vegas, I call it Team Vegas, because you're right. At one point or another, everyone has came across each other in the past, and you know what? Iron sharpens iron, and all the good ones gravitate towards all the good ones. So I have trained with Phil Dace in the past. I've rolled with him. I've done stand-up with him. I spent 17 hours in a van with him, with some other guys going out to Mexico to fight last year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, I know Phil Dace pretty well, and we've got a good amount of time being on the mat together.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your last fight, which was also the same card he fought on. You fought against Mike Sandoval, and he fought against Husier Wong. He fought him on that same card in Mexico. So has he been on your radar? Like, is this somebody that you looked at as like a potential opponent down the line? Was there ever, something that you looked at maybe a couple fights ago, a couple years ago, like I could be fighting him?
Mike, anybody who weighs 170 pounds or fights the 170-pound division, I'm looking at like that. I've had, multiple training partners like that, and, even though we're friends, we're cool in a sense, he's not a best friend of mine, but, it's business, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I've thought about it in the past, like, yeah, maybe I might fight this guy in the future, Hopefully not. Hopefully it's to a point where, we help each other on the way up, and if the time comes in the big show, which this is the big show, then hey, we go out there, we duke it out, and and we handle our business.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it was just a matter of time before you and Phil would get into a cage together, because you've fought basically on all the big shows outside of the UFC in Las Vegas. You fought for Strikeforce, you fought for Superior Cage Combat. He's also fought in some of the big shows in Vegas. He fought for Superior Cage Combat as well as RFA. So you guys keep missing each other just by a little bit, but now you're fighting each other on March 29th. Was there ever a time where you were offered a fight with him?
I've never been offered to fight Phil, actually. We've actually been on some of those same Superior Cage Combat cards.
Right.
Just against different opponents, obviously, and we just never really came across. I've never been offered to fight him, and this is the first time. And you know what? Actually, I had a different offer, and I took both. And then they said Phil Dace. I was like, hey, let's do it. And, you know, me and Phil contacted each other, say, hey, you know, they said for us to fight, or they offered us to fight each other, and it's a great opportunity for both of us. It'll be an honor to fight each other, but let's go out there, leave it in the cage, and, you know, afterwards, if neither one's going to the hospital, let's go have a beer or something.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel like an awkward situation you're stepping into? Because you run basically in the same circle he does. You know, some guys that you used to train with Extreme Couture are now training with him at Syndicate. You know, maybe some coaches overlap that you've had, and obviously you said that you've trained with him in the past. So does it feel a little bit awkward?
To be honest, no. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fight. You know, this is what we do.
Right.
You know, this is what we're born and bred to do, or at least what at the current time is what we're set to do. And it's kind of like the NBA, you know, guys play on the same team, they get traded, and they play against each other. Their coaches get traded to different teams, different defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, whatever, you know. And that's how I look at it, you know what I'm saying? We might have been training partners at one time, but you know what? Fighters, hopefully, they grow and they evolve and they get better, you know what I'm saying? If they don't get better, they stay the same. Mm-hmm. And I know I've gotten much better, you know what I'm saying? I'm constantly involved, and I still feel young in the sport. I'm a young man. And my games just excel consistently. And hopefully he's done the same. And you know what? That night, March 29th, Saturday, we're going to see who's going to excel to the better level. You know, we're going to push each other. And I don't care if they have all the footage in the world on me. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter what I did in the past is what I do in the moment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. World Series of Fighting, they've done a couple shows in Las Vegas. This will be, I think, their third or maybe fourth. I think it's their third show they've done in Vegas. Just curious, what's kind of been the holdup? Obviously, you're a local guy, and Ray Sefo, who's running World Series of Fighting, is one of the coaches at Extreme Couture, so it makes sense for you to be a part of the organization, but why is it taking so long?
You know, Mike, I had a little, downhill spiral back in 2012. You know, I lost almost 5 12. Mm-hmm. You know, my coaching was switching up. I didn't really have a team. You know, the coach I was working with at the time, he was, you know, was actually one of my best friends, like my brother, and we were just friends, and this was something fun we were doing as like an experiment, and you know, we got so far, and then there was a time to where, you know, we just couldn't grow anymore, and like, you know, like I said, he was young and he had other obligations, so I had to venture out and find the correct coaching, to find the correct teammates to really hone my skills, and, you know, just take a little time to concentrate on myself and build me up, you know what I mean? And then so I had to get some more wins under my belt, which I went out and did. And I was in some top-level guys' training camps, and, you know, I think Ray saw that. He saw how well I was doing with these guys, some of my current training partners. And, you know, it's all about timing. You know, the time just wasn't right at that time. And now the timing's right, and I'm prepared, and that's what it is, you know? Mm-hmm.
Just curious, how many fights do you have on your contract with World Series of Fighting? Is it a multiple fight deal, or is this an opportunity to earn a multiple fight contract? Obviously, you're a local guy. This is a local card, so it makes sense for you to be on it. So is this an opportunity to earn one, or do they already have you signed up for a multiple fight contract?
You know, it's kind of both, to be honest. I was originally offered a multi-fight deal. We, you know, had a few little, you know, stipulations, you know, which regardless, I was very blessed and happy about the opportunity. But I felt like, hey, give me one fight, let me show improvement, let me make a statement, and then if you guys like it, or, you know, give me the multi-fight. You know what I'm saying? So they were both on the table. We decided to go with the one fight. I want to go out there, show improve, you know, show that I'm a new fighter. My record doesn't accurately represent me currently, you know, like my coach Dennis Davis says, records for DJs, you know, and even though my record says 8-1, I know that, you know, my capabilities and my talent is up there with some of the top level guys in the world, you know, just from the way that sparring goes and whatnot, and, you know, so pretty much right now we got a one fight deal signed for this fight. You know, obviously I'm a local Vegas guy. You know, I'm going to sell tickets. They know I got a crowd. They know I got a following, and that's all fine and dandy. But once I go out there and I put a stamp on it, then, you know, we'll be in talks for a multi-fight deal.
You're born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. This card is taking place there. And you fought on the big shows, like I mentioned earlier, the Strike Force, the Superior Cage Combat, the outside the UFC ones that are the big cards with a lot of high-level pro guys and UFC vets and Bellator guys and all that kind of stuff. You fought on all the big cards. Does this opportunity, mean more to you than the other ones, or does it kind of just look all the same? Is it a little bit more special now this time around?
It definitely is a little bit more special this time around because, like I said, my life has just been a 180-degree turnaround the last year and a half. 2012, late 2011, when I took some of those big fights, I wasn't, in the right state of mind. I didn't have the proper coaching. I was just, like when I fought for Strikeforce, it was on 2 weeks' notice. I just came off and went to Spirit Cage Combat. I was out partying. It just wasn't, things weren't right. You know what I'm saying? But now I've been a very professional, I'm a more mature man. I've honed my skills more diligently. And for me, it all culminates to this fight. You know what I'm saying? It all comes down to this fight right now. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't even add any more pressure to the fight or anything like that. It's just, I'm so ready mentally. I'm so ready physically. I had a great camp. This is one of the first times ever I've had a full 8-week camp for a fight. I had the proper coaching around me, focusing and seeing what I needed to work on, fixing the little holes in my game, developing my skills further. I recently received my brown belt for Drysdale. So, in the past I was known as a Muay Thai fighter doing MMA. And in the city of Las Vegas, a lot of the Muay Thai fighters never really made it too far in MMA. I've been one of the select few who's made it pretty far. And now with me getting my brown belt from Drysdale last December, I think it kind of put the stamp as I'm an all-around mixed martial artist. And that's what I strive to be since the day I started MMA. Now I really finally feel like I'm a mixed martial artist. I'm not just a Muay Thai fighter doing MMA. I'm not just grappler. I'm not just a wrestler. I'm a mixed martial artist. And on March 29th, 2014, that's what I plan to demonstrate to the world.
Mm-hmm. Now, just curious, what do you think was holding you back from developing all your skills in the past? Was it just you weren't comfortable with it? Was it just you labeled yourself? You're like, oh, I'm a striker. I don't need to worry about this. Was it something like that? Was it your ego got in the way? What prevented you from being a complete mixed martial artist?
I don't think it was my ego got in the way. I just thought I was a little bit better than what I thought it was. Mm-hmm. And my coach at the time, Richie Bad Name, is actually Dana White's little cousin. Like I said, he had a lot of insight in the game, but he was learning to be a coach. And I relied on him to be my head coach. And he had a lot of faith in me as a fighter. And like I said, we went far. We did a lot of great things. But, there was key details like, he could have made it to all my sparring sessions. He wasn't too well. He didn't know grappling too well. He knew standard stuff, but, I needed a coach who could bring it all together. Like Robert Fowler says, you can go one place to get the eggs. You can go one place to get the flour. You can go one place to get the sugar. But it takes a good chef to bake it all, the ingredients, and put together a nice cake. You know what I'm saying? So now I got that cake. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now my game is sweet and sharp. And that's what and plus my mental game. Honestly, I didn't believe in myself back then. I thought I was better than I was, but truly, in the heart of it, I didn't really believe in myself. I didn't believe all this was happening to me. Because, even with Richie, we did great things. Like I said, we got the Strikeforce. We did Spirit Cage Combat. I was traveling all around the world. Frank Mir kind of like drafted me into the team. Mm-hmm. I was sparring with Frank Mir for some fights, and I was like his little protege. He's one of my best friends, like my brother, you know what I'm saying? And Frank Mir really looked out for me, took me under his wing. But even with that, Frank Mir had suffered. We would go there, and it was around Frank's camp, and I was there learning. I was drilling, working with him and other people like Dan Hardy, Ricky Lundell. But, I was just a guy training partner. I was there. I was just there picking up what I could pick up, being in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. drilling with these guys, and there was no focus on me, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, you know what I'm saying? Frank Mir was used to be UFC champion, so I understand that, and I'm still grateful for those opportunities just to be in those rooms. I've learned so much that made me the fighter I am today, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like I said, it's about the timing. I just wasn't right there, right at that time, and I was just taking fights. I had no management. Me and Richie would just do it on our own, like, hey, the promoter would call us because they knew about us, and, let's take this fight, let's take this fight, and plus I needed the money, you know what I'm saying? I sacrificed everything. I just, packed my bags and just kind of, like, went after the game. I didn't work a job, and I think that put additional stress on my fights, and, long story short, my mind wasn't right. This last year and a half, I've been working with a sports psych or a hypnotherapist, Elliot Rowe, and he's been very helpful for my game and to getting my mind in the zone. You know what I mean? Getting my mind and my body, my spirit to be all aligned in one. And now I'm more aggressive in training and in fights. My last fight at seconds and 16 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now I got that edge. Now I'm bringing it all together. Now I have that cake. And with Robert Wallace, lately the last year, he's been helping me put it all together, not just, okay, standing up. Okay, now we're grappling. Okay, now we're doing cage work. He's been able to help me seamlessly put it together, striking to the takedown, to the stand-up, to the cage work, to the dirty boxing, to getting back up to my feet if I'm on my back, to, actively striking top control. So now, like I said, in the past, it's been a learning experience. I've been learning this whole time. I felt like, I was just learning. At the time, I was a blue belt. In my MMA game, I was a blue belt. At the time, I was purple belt. My MMA game, I was purple belt. Now I'm a brown belt. I feel like my MMA game is a high-level brown belt. Still not a black belt. Once I get a belt, a real gold belt on my waist, then I feel like I'm an MMA black belt. But right now, I'm at the time where I got all the tools I need. I know my style of fighting. And I'm ready, like I said, to show it. So ready to go out there and put it on the line to show the world.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at this fight between you and Phil, where do you feel that you have the advantage?
I definitely know I'm faster than Phil. I feel my stand-up is better than his, being a four-time amateur Muay Thai kickboxing champion. I know Phil's a very durable opponent, but, I have some great cardio as well. And I think my wrestling is better than Phil's. I don't think he has any kind of takedown whatsoever, and he has trouble getting off his back. That's just my personal opinion from what I've seen, in trainings, from what I've seen in his last fight. Although, like I said, this last fight was almost a year ago. So people, hopefully he improved and whatnot, and we will see where he's at. I know where I'm at, and March 29th is going to be a statement.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Danny, you have two nicknames. The first one that I like to call you, Rapper/Scrapper. That's the nickname I like you to go by, because I think that's a really cool nickname. And then you also have D1. What's the nickname that you're going to go by on March 29th? What is the official nickname of Danny Davis Jr.?
Everyone in the city, a lot of people know me as D1, and then, D1 and Rapper/Scrapper. No one really even calls me Danny, you know what I'm saying? Everyone just calls me D1, and then it's like the Rapper/Scrapper. So if I was able to change my government name, I can't do the D1, a.k.a. the Rapper/Scrapper, because prior to my mixed martial arts career, I was very active in the hip-hop community, doing things for the kids, doing things. I've done over 100 shows. I've been performing on the Las Vegas Strip since I was 20 years old. I started at a local recording studio as an intern, cleaning toilets, running errands, running coffee for free for almost a year. Then through that, though, I learned to become an audio engineer. I recorded several personal albums that I released independently. Like I said, I opened up for major artists such as Ice Cube, Flo Rida, Too Short, Ghostface Killer and whatnot. The list goes on and on. And, I became a pretty renowned local hip-hop artist. And I actually eventually became the owner of the studio, with a partner. And, the recession hit, times got tough. I saved up some money, made an exit strategy. And throughout this whole time, I used to always do Muay Thai. I would be at the studio all day, go to the gym at night. And throughout that whole time, I won 4 amateur national titles. And when I closed the studio, my coach said, hey, you can make some money fighting. So that's when I decided I looked at it. I said, hey, you know what, though? I don't think Muay Thai can make a career out of. But MMA, UFC, this mixed martial arts thing is exploding. And I'm a man who loves a great challenge. So I started learning jiu-jitsu, took a few extra months, learning jiu-jitsu, and did some amateur fights for Tough Enough. And then I was like, I felt ready. I actually went to Jackson's before I turned pro. I lived there at the gym in the dorms for about a month. Then made my pro debut. Won my pro debut in 27 seconds. I was like, okay, you know what? I can't do this. And then just took off with the MMA game from there, and that was about 2009. So I've only been in the game for about 4 or 5 years, and I've already had 17 fights, professional fights, and it's just been a wonderful journey. It's been a great learning experience. Learned a lot about myself, and it's just middle of the road. We're at the middle of the road right now, and I'm so excited for the future. But it all starts with this fight against Phil Davis on March 29th.
Mm-hmm. Now, where did you get that nickname, D1?
D1, it actually started as a joke when I was like 13, 14. One of my other best friends, Danny Oliver, his name's Danny as well. Mm-hmm. And then people were always like, oh, Danny who? Danny Oliver? Danny Davis? And then me and him, we were just talking. I was like, you know what? I'm D1. I'm D1, and you're D2. and then, I'm always into hip-hop. I was writing music, so I kind of made it like a he won almost like a ironic way of saying the one. Because in my life, I've always felt like I've been the one. I've been the one to help people out. I've been the one to inspire. I've been the one to come out the ashes. And, I left home at 13. I was involved with the gang life, and I made it out. I was the one to do it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I always felt like I was the one. And, my name is Danny, so there we go. D1. E1.
Oh, I see. Now, Danny, you mentioned your record, 8-1. That's your professional mixed martial arts record. When somebody sees that online, it's a 500 record. Some people will look at it, this guy, it's not a very good record. There's got to be some question marks of why his record isn't so good. And, there's all these people out there who have never seen you fight, but I'll look at this record and judge you on that. What's something that your record fails to show?
So, you know what? Like I said earlier, my coach Dennis Davis said records are for DJs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what records fail to show is what's current. A record is my past actions, the past Danny Davis. It's not the current here and now. So that's what records fail to show. Records fail to show the way I've been moving in the gym lately, what I've been doing, the people I've been training with, and the moves I've been doing with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the higher level of training I'm doing every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just at a different level, and that's what it felt to show, and I'm okay with it. I don't care what people think, because I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm here to show and prove. I'm here to act. And like I said, like a lot of people, general public, they will see that, and that's okay. But when they see me fight, they're going to have a different opinion. If they go back and they can find some past footage, even if it's a loss, but the way I fight, they're going to see that I'm an exciting fighter. I'm very aggressive. I've always been explosive. I've always had a lot of heart, and that's what's going to be the new Danny D1 Davis Jr. Rapper / Scrapper.
Mm-hmm. Danny, I was taking a look at your record, and I noticed that you've never won a fight or lost a fight in the second round. There's never been a fight that you've had where there's been some sort of stoppage in the second round. You either win or lose in the first round, or you win or lose in the third round, never in the second. Is there some sort of written agreement that you and your opponent have that you can't finish him or he can't finish you in the second round? What's going on there? Why don't you have any second round wins or losses?
Yeah, I saw that myself, and I kind of asked myself the same question. And I think what it is back then, like I said, I didn't really believe in myself, and sometimes I didn't let my hands go. Either I came out very aggressive and I let them go, and I finished it quick, or I got finished quick, made a mistake, rushing it too much, or I kind of cruised and let the fight and went towards the end. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I have no exact answer for that, but that's the only thing I can think of. Either I was too aggressive, and either I finished it quickly, or made a mistake and got finished quickly, or I was too relaxed and the fight went the distance, and that's what it was, or I made a mistake at the end. So, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't give you a direct answer for why it's never finished in the second round.
Well, you definitely gave me a better answer than the one I was looking for. I was kind of just teasing you there about the second round thing, but I really appreciate you giving so much thought into this. It shows that you're really taking your time and thinking about your career and thinking about the way these fights have gone. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. Now, Danny, there's a rumor going around out there that Tyler Stinson should Husamar Palhares not pass the random drug testing that he has to pass to fight Steve Carl for the world title on March 29th, that Tyler Stinson will get a title shot against Steve Carl and be that he's kind of the backup plan for World Series of Fighting, which would leave Josh Berkman without an opponent. He's kind of the odd man out in this whole situation because there's 6 welterweights right now on the card, and if Palhares can't fight because he can't pass that drug test, Josh Berkman will be without an opponent. If World Series of Fighting comes to you and says, hey, do you want to be bumped up to the main card and fight Josh Berkman, what do you tell them?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, because I'm a smart man, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen stuff like this happen in the past with fight cards. I follow the sport very closely. And I'm aware, the first day I saw that press release, that Rusmar had to be flown into the country early to get tested. However, the test results would take 10 days or something like that, and they wouldn't know until the week of the fight. And if he did fail, obviously he's going to fight. Once I read that, I on my own own personal intuition, looked at the fight card and went down the line and saw what other 170 pounders were on this card. Now on the main card, like you said, there's Bergman versus Stinson, and then besides that, it would be me and Dave.
Right.
So I knew that one of the others would have to move up to fight for the belt, because it's a title fight, and me or Dave would have to move up. So I had already, at that moment, 10, 12 days ago, prepared mentally. I was like, you know what? May there be a miracle that I move up to fight Josh Bergman. I'm going to be ready for this fight. You know, I'm going to mentally prepare now, whether it be Bill Dace or Josh Bergman. I am ready. Either fighter. I know both styles of fighters. I know how to fight both styles of fighters. I have fought both styles of fighters before. So I'm ready either way. If it's blessing in disguise and I move up to fight Bergman, I'm ready for that challenge. You know what I mean? And the point I'm at in my career, it'd be great. You know what I mean? If I move up to fight Josh Bergman and I get that win, then, you know, I skyrocket, you know what I'm saying, already, you know what I'm saying? If not, if I fight Phil Davis and I win, hey, that's okay too, you know what I'm saying? It's a win-win situation for me, you know? So, I would hope that Ruth Samar, you know, fails his drug test, because I would love to step up and face Josh Bergman. He's a veteran of the sport, been around a long time. You know, he's a pretty powerful fighter, you know, but I think right now I'm the young man. I got nothing to lose. You know, I got a lot of great training, a lot of great training partners. I'm fresh. I'm ready to do this.
Now, should that happen, what intrigues you the most about the fight? Is it just because Josh Bergman, he has a big name in the sport, and he's done pretty well? I mean, he just lost to Steve Carl, who's the champion, so there's really no shame in that. But he's doing very well as of late. Is it the opponent, or is it just the situation? Because if you get moved up to the main card, you're on NBC Sports Network. That means you have more eyeballs on you fighting than ever before. So is it the situation, or is it the opponent that would intrigue you if Paul Harris can't fight?
You know, I don't care about the TV, because if I go there and I lose, then the same, it's, you know, that many eyes see me lose.
Right.
I care about the challenge. I'm a man who loves challenges, you know what I'm saying? And I know in my heart what level of fighter I am now at. So for me to fight Josh Bergman is a testament to myself of what level of fighter I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, I have fought the highest level of fighters, but I'm in the gym sparring at a high level with some of the highest levels of fighters. You know, I'm grappling with Robert Drysdale 3 times a week, one of the best grapplers in the world, and I'm surviving. I'm doing a lot better than other guys. You know, Drysdale's calling me to train with him, you know, just to grapple with him, you know, as a man's training partner. You know, I mean, granted, that's just grappling, and this is an MMA fight, but there's a reason why he's calling me to get more rounds for that practice than other guys. And then there's a reason why Martin Kampman, who was ranked recently, I think 2, 3, or 4 within the UFC, you know, there's a reason why he sought me out to be one of his main sparring partners for his last fight. You know, there's a reason why Brad Tavares has asked me to spar with him, you know, more times than not for his previous fights. There's a reason why Frank Mir called me a few years ago to be on his team to train with him. There's a reason why Dan Hardy sought me out to be a sparring partner for his last 2 fights. So, you know what? These are some of the best guys in the world. And if they're asking me to train with them, then I must have some of the best attributes as well in the world. You know what I mean? But now it's just giving me that opportunity to display my skills in front of that audience. You know what I'm saying? In front of a opponent who's of that nature, of that caliber. So when I see this opportunity and I see that, hey, Josh Bergman may be without an opponent, and he just recently fought for the belt, that's saying he's one of the best guys in the world. And if I fight him, I finish him, what's that going to say? I'm up there in that circle, right? Or at least going to start. And now I can take other guys on that level and continue to show and prove. And I love that challenge. So that's why I'm most intrigued about this fight. Because it you know, for me, like, it's a blessing in disguise. I've been working diligently in the gym. I've been working, fixing my holes. And like I say, even though my record doesn't show, I know what I'm capable of. I know how I've been performing, and I just need that opportunity. So there's that opportunity, there's that challenge. If it does occur, I'm still focused on Phil Davis, but if it does occur, I'm ready for it.
Just for sake of argument, let's say Paul Harris can't fight, and Berkman's left being the odd man out. will you try to approach them for the fight? Will you try to, because it's obviously, with the way the situation is, if that happens, they're obviously going to either you or Phil Dace for the fight. If you find out that happens, will you try to undercut him and offer yourself for the fight?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, definitely. For sure. I definitely ask for the fight right away, you know what I mean? So I'm already aware of the situation. I got wind of it, and there's already been talks. So I'm definitely campaigning for that fight, I actually saw Ray Sheffield the other day and said, hey, coach, Mr. Sheffield, I'm here. If Bergman's left without an opponent, sign me up. Sign me up first and foremost. I already went to the man and told him I want that fight. So I've already made the call in, So, like I said, if Lee Samar doesn't pass, then I'm down. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Danny, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
I definitely want to thank Charleston, Southwest Contractors here in Las Vegas, Exclusive Custom, FighterMindset.com, which is Elliott Road, been helping me out, all my training partners and my coaches, and most definitely the fans, especially the ones here in Las Vegas who follow my career, all my close family and friends, and the fans that support MMA in Las Vegas, and they see me up and down within this game, and they still continue to support me. That's the thing that inspire me. All the kids out there who are having a hard time in life, hey, keep your head up. I've been there, and it does get sunny. After the darkest night comes a bright day. So I just want to shout out all those people, all the kids, anyone having a hard time, to keep your head up. And yeah, man, this fight, whether it be Phil Dace or Josh Bergman, is for all of them. I feel like I'm the phoenix going to rise out the ashes, and I just need that opportunity, and I'm going to show the world. So, day by day, moment by moment, the boy Danny G1 Davis Jr., rapper/scrapper, making it happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, Danny, whoever it's going to be, if it's going to be Phil Dace or if it's going to be Josh Bergman, I wish you the best of luck coming up on March 29th, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk.
Hey, thank you for asking me. Thank you, Mike. I'm very grateful to be on the show, and man, it's been wonderful.